Hello everyone, good evening.
Hello, ma'am.
So we shall start now. So hello everyone, this is Maitri Jadhav, and I'm a. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. I'm extremely sorry. Hello everyone, this is Maitri Jadhav. I'm a legal intern at Youth Against Rape that comes under our organization Youth Against Injustice Foundation. I am really delighted to be hosting this seminar with all of you. Youth Against Injustice Foundation was formed by Mr. Piyush Mongaji, who, along with his two companions, began with a cycle camping mission wherein Mr. Monga, with his friends, covered around 50,000 kilometers for helping people by conducting awareness campaigns. Our mission of Youth Against Rape signifies our motto of working towards a safe and terror-free environment for each and every woman. While Youth Against Rape is not just restricted to women, as we all believe in equality, Youth Against Rape also works for men who are accused of false rape allegations. We at Youth Against Injustice Foundation provide legal, medical, psychological aid to the victims of the various crimes happening in the society. In this seminar, we are going to talk about client counseling, wherein we learn about what to and how to talk to a victim. Not only that, but we'll also talk about the rights that a victim is supposed to know. And as member of legal department, how important it is for us to let the victims know about their right. Further, we would talk about providing legal aid and knowledge about the procedures that will take place after filing an FIR. Now, I would like to take a moment and introduce you all to Advocate Akshay Goyal ji. The founder of law firm Akshay Goyal is a postgraduate in law and has been dealing in litigation and corporate matters pan India. He is also empaneled and advocate for Punjab National Bank. He is also working as a mentor for our NGO Youth Against Injustice Foundation. He has won the award from APAC Insiders Magazine as the International Arbitrator of the Year India 2021. I hope all of us will have a wonderful time listening and learning great things. Thank you. I would like to pass over the mic to Advocate Akshay Goyal ji. But before that, I would like to request each and everyone to mute their mic and to put questions and queries in the chat box so that Akshay Goyal can address it in the end of the session. Thank you.
Good evening, guys. Thank you, Maitri, for the introduction. Uh, so I'll be now taking a session of yours for on basic client counseling thing and certain legal aspects which you need to know about when a victim comes to you for legal aid and all. So basically, firstly, we should know that whenever you go for a legal awareness thing and you want to make sure that the victim comes to you and feels comfortable with you, you should be having a very positive language, body language, and you should not show that she is a victim, because many a times the victims feel that they are a victim or a stigma to the society because this particular thing has happened to them. So basically, firstly you need to understand that this is not a stigma or any bad thing which has happened. You need to firstly counsel the victim that it was not his or her mistake, because this is when the client or the victim will get trust on you, and will share his or her things with you of the incident which had happened to him or her, because we are dealing with both the genders in this particular NGO, because there are instances where false rape cases are also filed, and there are instances where genuine rape cases are filed, and so the victims, with especially the girls, needs to be treated very softly, and it should be treated in a way that they should not feel that they are a stigma, and that they are it was their mistake, because it was not. So you need to firstly show them respect, and you also need to tell them that this was not their mistake, so that they psychologically open up with you, because this trauma makes a person very you know uh, very depressed. So coming on to this basically is the starting, when a victim comes to you, and how you should open up with them. You need to be very calm and patient, and you need to be very soft and polite, and you need to tell them that it was not their mistake. This is the basic thing which you should start with, because if in case they feel that you are only there for helping them, but that you are not uh, helping them in a way that they can open up with you, then they will not be coming back to you after. They will not open up with the facts of the case, which you need to know. Now, coming up to the legal aspects, when you come up with a victim, the legal aspects which you should know is that the first and foremost is that the identity of the female victim should not be disclosed at any cost. This is as per section 228A of IPC also, that the victim's anonymity should be maintained. One, if in case this anonymity is disclosed, a person can be booked under section 228A IPC, and an FIR can be lodged against him. You need to keep in mind that this thing is also there. Then uh, comes going to the police station and helping them out and filing a criminal complaint and all those things. So you also, that in that case, you need to understand that the police person has to lodge their FIR. If a victim comes there and says that this has happened to him, and or her, this has happened to her, and because of this an FIR should be lodged. And if in case the police person doesn't write their complaint and doesn't lodge their FIR, there is section 166A, which was inserted after 2013 amendment, which talks that if in case the person doesn't write a police official doesn't write a complaint of a female victim coming forward to for any crime against her of sexual nature, then the police official can be booked under section 166A of IPC, and a punishment is also imposed under that particular section on that police personnel. So you need to know this thing also, that the person coming to you should know that uh, her complaint will be written. There are also rights which are given to a rape victim, that like in case there is a rape victim, then she has a right to an advocate while interrogation by the police, when she goes to getting her complaint lodged. She also has a right to get a medical test done, but she can also deny it, because of the fact that earlier it was necessary to get a medical examination done by a doctor. The three finger test was a necessity, but as of now the three finger test is only done with the consent of the victim. That three finger test basically shows that whether the rape has been committed or not. So that is basically done while doing the medical examination by the police personnel, by the medical person, while making their MLCs. So you need to know that the person should be told about all these things before coming before they open up with you. Then you need to very carefully talk about them, talk about the incident which has happened to them, because that incident basically is, so that with the facts of that particular incident should come into light, because that particular incidence is very important. You should know the facts of the case thoroughly. The facts of the case are very important because when the case goes into trial and the victim is asked questions during cross examination, you should be knowing the facts of the case very well. Or the you should tell the advocate who will be dealing with when it comes to your this organization, the advocate who will be dealing with that particular case. So you should prepare a written facts. When a person is telling you about the facts, you should write down all the facts on the incidents which she mentions, that this particular thing has happened to her, or this particular incident happened. You should make a list of dates and a synopsis, that brief synopsis, that what exactly happened with that particular person, so that the lawyer who will be handling her case will know that in and out that what exactly has to happen. Then you need to know that the basic criminal law is that the prosecution has to prove their case beyond reasonable doubt when it comes to a criminal case. uh, However, in these sexual offences cases, the defense has the onus of proof on them, that they have to prove their case. So you need to also inform your client that your statement will also be very important. So they should know that they should not become hostile. Their statement is important. The prosecutrix statement also has a very important role. So and the defense has to prove that the statement which was made by the prosecutrix is not correct, and it has to be proved beyond reasonable doubt. Then comes the procedure for this particular fact, that how trial is conducted, or how FIR is being lodged while this particular incident has happened. So you need to tell the victim that you will approach them along with her to the police station. You will help her out while whatever question and answers will be asked by the police personnel. You should tell them that this particular offense is not a stigma. This should be a basic thing, that before going to the lodging of FIR, this should be done. Then and you should also take into consideration that an FIR should be lodged at the earliest possible time, because in certain cases, like of outraging the modesty of women, or these type of cases, there are certain times when an FIR is lodged after a delayed period of time, and that becomes a ground for this thing for bail of the accused. And even in trial also, this is also a ground that an FIR can be shaken, that why delay was done by the this victim while doing this particular, while this incident happened a day or two earlier, and why she didn't approach the police station immediately, or why she didn't dial 100 immediately. It comes it comes into picture when basically sexual harassment, or at workplace, or sexual harassment like outraging the modesty of women, or these type of cases comes into light. Now there is also one more important thing: hostile witnesses. Hostile witnesses are those basically who deny their statement which they made before the police, or which they made earlier. So your victim should be taught carefully that this is the statement which they are making, and while they are making this statement, and while during the trial, they should be even given adequate support, so that she doesn't turn hostile. She is not approached by the accused, and she is not approached by the accused to manipulate her, to buy her out by giving any money or doing any settlement kind of thing. So these things should be taken into consideration, because if in case a victim turns hostile, your case is destroyed. So you need to know that the victim should not be harassed by the accused, because this is a very important ground for cancellation of bail also. If in case an accused of these type of cases approaches the victim, the victim should immediately inform the her advocate or the police station, nearest police station, that she has been approached by the accused for luring her out of luring her out, or taking back this case, giving false evidences, and taking back her statement, or these type of cases, or these type of things. Then these things becomes a very bad thing, and this comes into importance also, because if in case a male is there and he is being victimized, like if there is a false case, then you come to know that this women, if she agrees to this particular thing, that uh, to the settlement or any other things, then you get to know that there was some or the other hanky panky during this case, and this case was falsely filed. You should also do your see that whether this case was genuine or not. And if in case this case is not genuine, as of now there is no law clearly pertaining to these things, but there is a law which says that if in case section 213 or 2, there is a section which talks that if in case there is any false complaint filed by the complainant against the accused, then he or she should be punished. There is exactly, I'll tell you the section. This is section 209, 211 uh, of IPC. Basically, these sections talks about false cases being filed by the person. They can also be booked under section 195 of IPC, for giving false and fabricating false evidence against against a person. That basically section 340 CRPC proceedings is started. That is perjury. So, and the person can be booked under section 195 of IPC for giving false and fabricating an evidence. So you need to basically know these basic laws, but the basic thing which this particular session is all about is the basic client counseling. The basic client counseling which I started with is that you need to gain the trust of the victim. She should open up with you, and you should tell her that she is not the victim, she is not the culprit, she is a victim here, and it was not her mistake. Because there are many instances, or many things, or many statements made by many politicians these days, that because of uh, ladies only these things happen. But this is not a correct thing, because it was not her mistake. This was done by a person who had a very bad state of mindset, and he had acted in a very outrageous manner, and a heinous crime was committed by him. Because as Justice Arijit Pasayat has also stated, that if in case a person murders a victim, person murders a person, he kills the body. But if a person rapes a person, then he kills the soul of the person. So you need to gain trust, because that person is under a big trauma. So you need to psychologically also help them out, that this how to come out with this particular thing. There's also a right to the victim, that if in case any pregnancy occurs because of this particular act, that can be terminated by the victim, and it will be illegal. It will not be considered as an illegal termination of a fetus. So that also be, you should tell the person. Because in rural areas, people do not come for filing of these cases, or they come up with these. There are many instances where cruelty happens in the family. Women are beaten, or they are harassed for dowry and all those things. These type of cases also might come to your organization. So you need to, in rural areas especially, you need to guide the people, guide the women basically, that they have a right to approach police, they have a right to approach court against domestic violence, against abuse, against physical abuse, against mental abuse by her husband and her in-laws. This is a basic right which she has under Section 498A of IPC, under protection of women and children under Domestic Violence Act. This 2005. These are the basic rights which she has. That if in case any mental injury or mental trauma is being suffered by her, or any injury is being suffered by her, by her husband, or through her relatives, she can approach under these provisions. So for these provisions, there is basically, for if in case a person comes to you, that they have to file a 498A case, and they have to tell them, they have to file a case against domestic violence. So you should tell them that for 498A case, they have to firstly move to crime against women cell. Every state has a crime against women cell police station in each and every district, and it is divided as per the jurisdiction of each and every district, in the way they want to divide the jurisdiction. So you have to firstly file a complaint before CAW cell, telling all the facts of the case and all those things. So, in that scenario, your organization will also be very helpful, because in CAW cell, advocates are not allowed to go. But an NGO who is helping a person or a victim in such cases can, accompany her to, go there and uh, accompany her with her, so that she cannot be pressurized by the police personnel, that this she take back the case or whatever. There might be a ulterior motive, the police personnel, that he or she might have taken some bribe, or some made some commitment to the other side. So in CAW cell, both the sides are called for, and they are asked for a settlement, if in case they can settle the things between them and reconcile, and start living again harmoniously. So if in case they find out that they cannot live together, and there is no chance of reconciliation, and there is a genuine case of cruelty which is being made out against the husband and her and his relatives, then they send a report to the police station of the jurisdictional police station, that an FIR be lodged under section 498A 406 also, that this particular incident has happened, and an FIR will be lodged, and the police will take adequate action in those particular cases. Then there comes protection of women and children under Domestic Violence Act. So there is a provision under Section 12 of this act, that which talks about filing a complaint, direct complaint to the court about this particular things. In that particular act, you get a compensation awarded by the court, so that this particular act, if it is proved that this particular act has happened, then a compensation is awarded by the court, which you ask for, or as per the discretion of the court. There is a provision of interim maintenance also, which is provided by the court during the pendency of the trial of this particular complaint. There is also a provision of domestic right, that domestic right to the women. That basically means that she has a right to live in her in her matrimonial house during the pendency of the case, and the person cannot the husband cannot throw her out of the of her matrimonial house. So she even gets a order from the court for this domestication, that she should be allowed to live in the matrimonial house if she wants to. There is a provision that the court can grant you interim maintenance, and in that interim maintenance they can grant you rent also for taking living separately. But there is also a provision that if the woman is working and she is earning good amount, then the maintenance may not be awarded by the court. It is upon the discretion of the court whether they want to award the maintenance or not. But there are judgments that in case the woman is working, so she will not be awarded maintenance, interim maintenance by the court. But she can but the children which are born out of the wedlock, they can be given interim maintenance from they can get interim maintenance from their father regarding their studies, their day-to-day expenses, and all those things. Then there is also a provision called POSH, which is Prevention of Sexual Harassment at Workplace. Uh, uh, After Vishaka versus State of Rajasthan judgment, the guidelines were laid down by Supreme Court, and in 2012, I think the POSH Act was enacted. So POSH Act basically talks, about thing that there should be an internal committee in every office, an internal committee consisting of three people, and in out of those three people, one should be an outsider, and two should be from the organization itself, and there can be a ratio of 2:1, as in two women and one male person in that particular internal committee. But it is not mandatory that there should be a one male person. It can be a possibility that all three internal committee members can be females. So, and one person is from outside the organization, which will head the internal committee, and that person should be a female. That person cannot be a male person. So a complaint is filed to internal committee that this particular act has happened to the girl in her work premises, and internal committee takes care of commits an inquiry, and they give the other person also a right to a hearing, that you give a when they issue a show cause notice that this complaint has been lodged against you, and you give how you tell us why this case is not made out against you and all. He is also given a right to of being heard. Principle of natural justice is being followed. If in case internal committee comes out with the comes out with this finding that this particular act has been committed against the employee who has complained against a particular male employee, then the internal committee sends a report to the nearest jurisdictional police station, and an FIR is lodged as per the act which has been committed by the male person. So if it can be an act under section 354, 354A, B, C, D. It can be an act under section 509 of IPC. It can be an act under 375 of IPC. It depends on whatever complaint which is being made by the person. If such victims come to you, you should tell to them about this particular act, and their rights, that they have to approach an internal committee, and they have to tell the internal committee that this particular offense has been committed. But you should also know that she is not coming with a personal vendetta against a particular person, because sometimes these particular complaints are made for personal vendettas also. So you need to know that no personal vendetta is there, and you should, if in case you find out while counseling the client that there was a certain personal vendetta which is being followed by the person who is coming to you, you should guide them that this should not be done by them, because a a male person also who against whom this particular these kind of complaints are made, his life is also ruined, because even if he gets acquitted after a trial, then also he will not gain the respect of the society which he had lost because of this kind of complaint. So you should not encourage any false complaints by any victim or any person who is coming to you. They should also be made sure that you, while conducting the inquiry, while conducting the client counseling, or while conducting the victim counseling, you should know from the facts which he is telling, that whether you should uh, discuss with your friends, discuss with us also, that whether this case is genuine or not. And you should not confront her actually, but if in case this is a offense, this is a victimization of a particular person, then you should not encourage her to file a false complaint. You should ask her to not go for all these things, and if in case she doesn't understands it, and she still wants to take this particular step, then you should avoid be attached to these kind of people, because that will bring a bad name to your organization. So this should be kept in mind while dealing with people also. So I think I have told ample things about basic client counseling in this session. So if in case any question is there from anybody, so he or she can ask.
Sir, actually, I had a question. Like,
Yeah, please.
supposedly, if like this is a genuine question, and not just specifically to rape, but it is a
Mm-hmm.
genuine question. Supposedly, it happens. Like a lot of time, it happens that people are, you know, taken by the police in their custody, and they are
Mm-hmm.
denied, even though they know their rights of right of advocate, but they are still denied of, like, they're still denied to meet their advocates. So in that case,
Hmm.
like, what is the procedure to be taken ahead?
See, if in case any ex person is taken in custody by the police illegally, and he or she is not given his or her right to consult an advocate, he or she has a family member who is not who is outside, so they can approach an advocate and file a habeas corpus writ petition before the high court, that my relative, or my whoever has been taken away by the police, is being taken away or detained by the police illegally, and he or she should be this thing he or she should be released by the police immediately. Habeas corpus petition under Article 226 of Constitution before High Court, or Article 32 of Constitution before Supreme Court. You can approach these organizations. You also need to understand that police doesn't have the right to arrest, or arrest a female after sunset. Section
Yeah.
46 of CRPC talks about it, that if in case a female is an accused, and the police personnel cannot arrest her after sunset, there is also one right that the police should accompany a female person while arresting a female. And if in case it's a cognizable offense, and a female has to be arrested before sunset, and there is an apprehension that she might evade the jurisdiction of the police, then they have to seek permission from the magistrate before arresting that particular person, arresting that female.
Okay, so thank you. If anyone has any question, they may please.
So guys, you are free to ask any question. I am there to answer you all. You can put it in the chat box if in case you have any question and doesn't want to ask personally.
If not, then we may conclude.
Yes, if anybody doesn't have any question, I think everybody now knows their rights and doesn't have any question. I think because if in case because this is a very sensitive issue, and if in case you have any question, you are free to ask. Or else, if I was able to tell you about all your rights and you don't have any question and are aware of these things, and I am honored that I was able to explain to you. So guys, if you have any question, you can shoot it. I think, ma'am, if nobody has any questions, then we can conclude.
Okay, so I would like to thank you all for patiently listening and attending this seminar. My heartfelt gratitude to Advocate Akshay Goyal ji for taking out time and making this event a grand success. Thank you, sir, for inspiring us, and I'm sure that all of us would one day definitely achieve our mission. I would like to thank Youth Against Injustice Foundation, Mr. Piyush Mongaji, and all the members of the legal department. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.